how you doing? This is TV and School. Вивчаємо з тобою ми англійську. How are you? Що скажеш, коли ти зустрінеш якогось іноземця? So, let's speak English. Англійська мова Шекспіра та нью-йоркських таксистів. Англійська стане у нагоді вам, бойс і дівчиська.
Hello everyone, it's time for an English lesson. My name is Natalia Leshko. Let's start. Today we continue talking about education and school. So let's start, and I would like to revise some adjectives talking about the teachers. So let's start with a game. It's going to be a guessing game. So you look at my face, I'm going to say the word, but you're not going to hear any sounds. So you need to guess which word I'm saying without the sound. Okay? So one more time in Ukrainian for you. Я проговорюю слово, але ви не чуєте звуку. І ваша задача вгадати, яке слово я говорю. Let's try. So, the first word. Let's go. One more time. Can you guess it? One more time for you. This is interesting. That was just a try for you. Now, let's go with the adjectives talking about the teachers. So the first word. And one more time. The word is amazing. And I would like to put a card, a yellow card, goes to the word amazing. We remember that yellow is amazing. So number 2. And one more time. Can you guess the word? Beautiful. Well done. Beautiful is going to be blue. And what is yellow? Amazing. And blue? Beautiful. Well done. Let's go with the next word. Ready? One more time. And one more. The word is creative. Let's go. Creative is going to be orange. Let's put it here. So what is blue? Do you remember? Beautiful. And orange? Creative. And yellow? Amazing. Fantastic. We have 2 more words. So let's go. One more time. And one more. Can you guess the word? It's kind. So let's go. Kind is going to be green. So yellow is amazing. Orange, creative. What is green? Kind. And blue? Beautiful. Fantastic. And the last word. Let's go. One more time. And one more. Can you guess the word? It's intelligent. So it's going to be purple. Intelligent. And let's revise 5 words. Yellow, number 1, is amazing. Then beautiful. Orange is creative. Green is kind. And purple is intelligent. Bravo. All these features goes to the teacher. We are going to describe the teacher like this. And let's listen to the interview with Darina again and focus on grammar. So we're going to discuss some sentences that she is using in her talk. So let's listen again.
Hello, Darina. How are you?
Hello, Natalie. I'm great, thank you. How are you?
I'm fantastic. Thank you very much. So could you please introduce yourself?
Of course. My name is Darina Lugovska. I live in Kiev, Ukraine. I'm a teacher and a teacher trainer. I teach children and adults online and face-to-face. And I also help people prepare for exams.
Fantastic. How long have you been working as a teacher of English?
I've been working as a teacher since 2012, so I've been teaching English for 8 years.
Okay. Where did you start working?
My first workplace was a state school in Kiev. There I was working mostly with primary students. It was really great.
That's interesting. And what about your last place of work?
I worked for a big company where I helped the employees improve their English. English is very important to them as they take part in international meetings and conferences where they have to communicate in English.
I see. That's great. And why did you choose to become a teacher of English?
Actually, I chose to become a teacher because it was my childhood dream. From a very early age, all I wanted was a whiteboard, notebooks, and of course, students. When I was a child, I used to teach my parents, my teddy bears, and my friends. But in 2012, I started teaching real students. I am convinced that teaching is a dream job and it's extremely rewarding.
Fantastic. What about your professional development? Do you still continue studying?
Of course. Professional development is very important to every teacher. If we don't develop and learn something new, we feel very depressed. I regularly travel to conferences and I also present at conferences. I also read a lot and watch webinars. I love learning new things and sharing my knowledge with others.
Fantastic. Why do you think we need to choose you for this position?
Well, my students say that I'm a good teacher and that with me they achieve their learning goals. Also, I believe that I'm a creative person, which means that my students are never bored. I'm also punctual and responsible. Most importantly, I know how to help students with difficult grammar and vocabulary so they understand and use it. And of course, there is a lot of pronunciation work in my classroom, which is very important.
Fantastic. So the last question for today, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
This is a very difficult question to answer. I'm not sure if I can plan that much ahead. I hope that I will keep helping students to improve their English. Also, I guess that in 5 years' time, I will have written a useful book for teachers, which will become famous one day.
I see. That's great. Okay, I think I don't have any questions to you. Maybe you have any questions to me?
Yes, if you don't mind, I'd like to ask you one question.
Okay.
What are the working hours of your school?
We have lessons Monday, Friday from 10 to 3 p.m. Does it suit you?
Oh yes, I'm absolutely fine with that. I like more working in the mornings and afternoons.
I see. Well, sometimes we do have extra activities like events in the evening, but this is not, this is very occasional. This is not our regular part of the day.
Okay.
Okay, so thank you very much. We'll contact you when we have our decision ready.
Thank you. I'll be waiting to hear from you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Okay, now let's discuss your sentences. So, as you see, these are the sentences that I would like you to focus on today. Let's start with the first one. I teach kids and adults online and face-to-face, and I also help people to prepare for exams. So, this sentence consists of two parts. I teach kids and adults online and face-to-face, and I also help people to prepare for exams. So, I would like you to define the tense here. Is it present, past, or future? Bravo, this is present tense. What kind of tense is this? Yes, this is present simple, correct. So let's revise how do we form present simple tense. Look at the sentence, I teach kids. Bravo. So this is subject plus verb, and this is present simple. Have a look at the second part. I also help people. We have a subject, I, and the verb help. Okay? Let's try with the third person singular. If I say not I, but she, for example, Darina. So, Darina teaches. Well done. We don't say teach, we say teachers. That's why I can add here plus es ending for third person singular. Для третьої особи однини ми додаємо закінчення s або es. So, one more time. I teach kids, but Darina teaches kids. Well done. Can you say about yourself? Okay. For example, I go to school. This is correct. Let's move on. Let's have a look at the second sentence. I have been working as a teacher since 2012. So, I have been teaching English for 8 years. This is a very nice sentence. For example, I have been working as a teacher for 14 years. And you can say that I have been studying English for 5 years, for example. Or 11 years, or 7 years. It depends on you, of course. So, this is present perfect continuous. We have started doing something in the past and we are still in the process of doing this. So let's summarize how do we form sentences in the present perfect continuous tense. Okay? Now, let's have a look at the sentence. I have been working. I is a subject. Then we have auxiliary verb, have. In present, we also have the form for third person singular. We don't add ending es or s. We don't say has. We say has. So, have or has plus. The main verb of the present perfect part, so the formula for present perfect is have or has plus the verb in the third form. So we need to use it. Been, and then we finally have a verb with ing ending. So let's look again. A subject, have or has, plus been, plus the verb in ing form. So let's look at the sentence. I have been working as a teacher, or I have been teaching English. So as you see, I have been, it's the same, but the difference is with the verb, working or teaching. Let's look at my example again. I have been learning English, or I have been studying Greek for the last months. Let's look at this sentence again for words like since 2012 and for 8 years. So let's look at the timeline. Timeline, we have the point, which is 2012, right? But today, what year is today? We have 2020. So, Darina has been working as a teacher since 2012. She started at 2012 and she has been teaching English, boom, for 8 years. So 2020 minus 2012 is 8 years. And we have a period for 8 years. 2012 is the starting point. We say since or for 8 years, okay? So, let's say again, and we start with my personal example. I have been working as a teacher since 2006. So, I have been teaching English for 14 years. You can say about yourself. For example, I have been studying English since 2008. So, I have been learning it for 12 years. Let's say with Darina, she has been working as a teacher and she has been teaching. Remember, we say has for the third person singular. Let's move on. Next sentence. I worked for a big company where I helped the employees improve their English. So, I worked and I helped. What's this? This is not present tense, right? Bravo. This is past tense. And what kind of tense is this? Yes, the past simple. So let's summarize. How do we form sentences in the past simple? Let's look. I worked. So, as subject plus, we have a verb with ed ending or second form of the verbs. So, if it is a regular verb like work and help, we just add the ending ed. If the verb is irregular, we change it. For example, teach, taught. Let's try with an example. I worked for a big company where I helped the employees. Let's say about Darina, third person singular. She worked for a big company and she helped the employees. Does it change? No, it doesn't change. We use the same, okay? Now let's say a different sentence with the regular verbs. For example, she taught at the big company and she taught her employees. Okay, well done. Let's go with the next one. When I was a child, I used to teach my parents, my teddy bears, and my friends. But in 2012, I started teaching real students. So let's start with the end of the sentence. I started teaching real students. I started? Yes, this is the past simple. I started. The same. Start is a regular verb. But let's have a look at the beginning of the sentence. When I was a child, I used to teach. This is a very nice phrase. Let's write it down here as well. Used to, we also say with the past events. I used to teach if I stopped doing this. For example, Darina says in her sentence that she used to teach her teddy bears, her friends and her parents. But in 2012, she stopped. She started teaching real students. So the action was stopped. You can say, I used to study Italian, but I stopped because I don't use it anymore. I can say about myself, I used to study German, but now I don't do it. I stopped. Okay, let's move on. We have more sentences. If we don't develop and learn something new, we feel very depressed. So what about this sentence? What kind of tense is this? Or what kind of sentence is this? The key word for you is if. Yes, this is conditional. So we have zero conditional, conditional number 1 and 2. What kind of conditional is this? Okay, if we look at the sentence, if we don't develop, this is something like we talk about the future. Якщо ми не розвиваємось, не вчимо щось нове, okay? So if we don't develop, we feel very depressed. This is zero conditional. And let's revise the formula for zero conditional. We have two parts of sentences. I'm going to write here. If plus, look at the sentence, don't develop. This is present simple. Present simple. And in the second part, look, we feel very depressed. We also have present simple. So, if we don't develop and learn something new, we feel very depressed. If we don't go for a walk, we feel very tired. Or, if we don't study English, we are not going to improve. This is also possible. Let's move on. I love learning new things and sharing my knowledge with others. You can say, Natalia, I love. This is the present simple tense. Yes, but talking about grammar points, this is a very interesting sentence. And a lot of people make mistakes here. Why? Because after the word love or like, what are we using? Bravo, ing form. Let's write it down. And for this, I'm going to choose a pink color. This is my favorite. So, love or like. We use the verb with ing form. This is very important. I love reading. I love playing. I like swimming. I like teaching. I love learning new things and sharing this knowledge with others. Let's move on. One more sentence. I hope that I will keep helping students to improve their English. I hope, я сподіваюсь, that I will keep helping. Will keep helping. What's this? What kind of tense is this? It's not the present, it's not the past. Bravo, this is the future. So, future simple. Let's revise. How do we form sentences in future simple? Let's go. I will keep helping. So we have subject plus will and then the verb. Let's look. I will keep. Helping is the next word. So I will keep helping students. I will keep going. I will read this book. Subject, will plus verb. Let's change it into Darina. So, Darina will keep helping students. Does it change? So, it doesn't change. Subject plus will plus verb. It's the same for everyone. Let's go. We have the last sentence. Also, I guess that in 5 years' time, I will have written a useful book for teachers, which will become famous one day. So let's start with the end of the sentence, which will become famous one day. Which refers to a book, right? A useful book for teachers. So we can substitute this word, which, with a book. So a book will become famous. Let's look at the example of the future simple. Subject plus will plus verb. A book will become. So it's an example for you. And let's start with the main part. I guess that in 5 years' time, I will have written. This is a very interesting part. I will have written. You see the word have written. It means that this is a perfect form, but we also have will. So, this is future perfect tense. It means that by the time, in 5 years, it's going to be 2025, right? Darina is going to finish writing her book. It's going to be ready by that time. She will complete this action by that time. The action will be finished. And we can say, I will have written a useful book. So the book will be finished. Let's revise how we make sentences in the future perfect tense. So we have I, which is a subject, plus will from the future. Now we need to have a perfect form. So we have as an auxiliary and then a verb. And we use the third form for the verb. So we have subject plus will plus have plus the verb in the third form. So let's look at the example. I will have written. Let's change it into Darina. Darina will have written. Does it change? No, it doesn't. It goes with the same way as the future simple. She will or I will, it doesn't matter. And let's try a different example. Let's talk about myself. For example, I do hope that in 5 years I'm going to finish with my Greek. So I can say, in 5 years I will have studied Greek. Not fully, but I will reach the level. So, let's summarize. We have sentences with present simple. Can you give me an example quickly? Yes, I teach kids. Bravo. Let's summarize past simple tense. Can you find an example? I worked for a big company. I started teaching, and I helped the employees. Let's revise the present perfect continuous. I have been working as a teacher, or I have been teaching. Well done. What about the used to form? I used to teach my teddy bears and my parents and my friends. Fantastic. What about the future simple? I will keep helping students, or the book will become famous one day. And the future perfect, okay? I will have written a useful book. Fantastic. And the last two rules, so let's revise the if sentence. If we don't develop and learn something new, we feel depressed. And what do we use with love and like? Bravo. The verb with ing form. I love learning, I love reading, I love studying English. And finally, let's revise the adjective. What was the purple color? Intelligent, bravo. And green one? Kind. Orange? Creative. Blue? Beautiful. And yellow? Amazing. I do hope that you had an amazing lesson with me. So that's it for today. I hear the bell ringing, and it means that we need to stop. Thank you very much for joining me today, and I see you next time. Bye-bye.